today your Neha ma'am is not here, so I'm here to teach all of you. Are you all ready for it? Okay, let's start.
Oh, Mr. Teddy. No, students, I'm here and it's time for session 2 of the chapter Travel and Communication. So, students, we have learned a lot about travel and communication in the previous video, right? So, it's time for us to understand a little more. So, let's start session 2. But before that, let's revise what we have learned in the previous video. There is a large network of roads in our country. Cities, towns, and villages are all connected by roads. Vehicles such as cars, motorcycles, scooters, buses, trucks, jeeps move on road. Many people use rickshaws and bicycles to cover short distances. Trains and metro move on tracks. Railways are used to carry heavy goods such as food grains, building materials, coal, iron. Metro, train, auto rickshaw, and buses are run by the government and are known as public transport. Passengers have to pay a fixed fare for using public transport. Many people use their own vehicles for traveling from one place to another. These vehicles are called means of private transport. Air travel is the fastest way to travel. Aeroplane is the most popular means of air travel. Cargo aircrafts carry goods to different cities and countries. Helicopters are mainly used for providing help in areas affected by flood and earthquakes. Water travel is the cheapest and the slowest means of transport. The vehicles used for water transport are boats, ships, yachts, liners, steamers, and ferry. Cargo ships carry large quantities of goods. Oil tankers carry oil and petrol, and cruise ships carry passengers across countries. The process of sending and receiving messages is called communication. We share information, messages, ideas, and feelings with others through different means of communication. Postal system is the cheapest and was the most popular means of communication. The SMS or short message service is used for sending messages. Telephone is one of the fastest means of communication. It was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Facsimile automatic Xerox or fax is used to send printed or written materials instantly. We can communicate with people anywhere in the world very quickly using the internet. Messaging services are used to share information through photographs, text messages, and videos with a lot of people at one time. We can also send an electronic mail or email through the internet. Mobile phone, letters, fax are means of personal communication, where communication happens between one or a few people at a time. When a message, news, or information is communicated with many people at a time, it is called mass communication. The different means of mass communication are radio, television, newspapers, magazines. Students, let's know about personal communication and mass communication a little more. So, let's start with personal communication. So, the first one is telephone. But nowadays, mobile is more popular, isn't it? Okay. Students, today many people use mobiles to connect with their friends and family. Mobile phones use radio waves to communicate. The mobile phone can be used to communicate over long distances without wires. It works by communicating with a nearby base station, also called a cell site, which connects it to the main phone network. Now the second one, letter. A letter is a written message, as we all know, right? Conveyed from one person or a group of people to another through a medium. And students, it's important that you have to mention the recipient's address, that is the receiver's address, and the sender's address. That is, if you are sending a letter, then you have to mention your address on the envelope. And you can leave your letter with a postal clerk, and she or he will mail it for you. And you can even find the post box to mail your letter. Now the next one, fax. Facsimile, automatic, Xerox. Right. I told you earlier, right? Sometimes called telecopying or telefax. It's the telephonic transmission of scanned printed material, both text and images, okay? Normally to a telephone number connected to a printer or other output device. Now it's time for mass communication. The first one, radio. Radio is the technology of signaling and communicating using radio waves. News can be instantly heard on a radio. In radio communication systems, information is carried across space using radio waves. Now the next one, television, popularly known as TV. Yeah, it is a telecommunication medium used for transmitting moving images in monochrome, that is black and white, or in color, and in 2 or 3 dimensions and sound. Television is a mass medium for advertising, entertainment, news, and sports. The next one, newspaper. Students, a newspaper is a periodical publication containing written information about current events and is often typed in black ink with a white or grey background. Newspapers can cover a wide variety of fields such as politics, business, sports and art, and often include materials such as opinion columns, weather forecasts, reviews of local services, crosswords, comic strips, and advice columns. Now let's move on to the next. Magazine. A magazine is a periodical publication which is printed in gloss-coated and matte paper or electronically published, sometimes referred to as an online magazine. They are generally financed by advertising, by a purchase price, by prepaid subscriptions, or a combination of the three. Now students, I would like to tell you something about the internet. The internet is a network of computers which allows for information exchange throughout the world. It has an important impact on global mass communication in many ways. But we cannot deny that it's an important tool of personal communication as well. As personally, we can use Skype to video chat, WhatsApp to text, emails to write long letters, right? So, not all that long ago, if you wanted to quickly talk to someone halfway across the world, you would need to call them using a regular phone, maybe even one with a rotary dial. If you needed to send or receive a large document, you might have been lucky to send a fax, but you probably just sent a letter or a box full of papers through what we now call snail mail, that is regular mail. You know, students, nowadays the internet has revolutionized global mass communication. It might sound weird to define something so commonplace nowadays, but it's worth explaining that the internet is simply a network of computers which allows for data exchange around the world. So, it is definitely a multifaceted mass medium. That is, it contains many different features of communication. It contains many sides of communication. And students, we cannot deny the fact that it is definitely a mass communication tool. But at the same time, it can be used as a personal communication tool, and it is a personal communication tool as well. Now, students, let's start the communication game. You have to match the ones on the left side with those on the right. Okay? Now you have understood the lesson very well, right? You can do it. So, let's start playing it. Email. So, email with... come on, say the answer. Yes, personal communication. Now, mass communication. Radio, yes, radio is a means of mass communication. Telephone, it was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Now, water travel, yes, ferry. Now, internet, we need internet to send an email, yes. So, students, all of the answers are correct. That means you have understood it very well. Very good. I'm so proud of all of you.